Like, I feel like there could be a Splatfest. Cure all illness is Shiver. Feed the world 5-head. And then destroy every country that isn't your own as Big Man, and Big Man's gonna win because it's Big Man's Big Man. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm one of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, are my good friends, Hunter and Kyle. Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
All right. What's going on with you, Ethan?
What's going on with me? Not much, you know. I'm just big chilling. I'm just like having a bit of a nervous breakdown. Don't mind me. It's all good because, you know, we almost lost a podcast before we even started, so that was fun. And then the overlays don't work, so you know everything's just coming up Millhouse right now. You know, everything's just working perfectly. You know, everything's just exactly how you expect the HGO podcast to be. You know, just a normal thing. There you go. There are the icons. We got it eventually. It's one of those days, guys. It's one of those days. I've just not had time to prepare. It's definitely my fault. Too busy playing Xenoblade. Too busy having fun playing the remaining video game to come out in 2022. You know how it is.
The last video game.
The last video game. It's been a crazy week for delays, hasn't it?
If it was, what a good final video game to go out on.
I know, right? Still haven't finished it. The YouTube audience is like, how has he not?
Will.
How's he not finished it? Am I still distracted by side quests? Yep, it's great.
How's that episode almost at 1,000 views and he's not done with it yet?
Yeah, trust me, that video will. Yeah, that video's got a chance. That video's got a chance. But no, it's been a crazy week. You know, we've had a Splatoon Direct. We've had Cult of the Lamb release, which, speaking of video games, that released this week.
Yeah.
So Hunter's going to talk all about that. And then, like, every game that was supposed to come out for the rest of this year feels like it got a delay. So we can talk about that. We can talk about all that stuff. We're just going to do a bit of a chill episode, a bit of a news update, talk about a new game that came out, talk about the Splatoon Direct, whether we think Splatoon 3 is looking like a worthwhile sequel or more of just a DLC as we like to call it. Like, we'll get into it later, but I'm kind of sick of this kind of discourse on it's Twitter. It's always Twitter, right? It's always Twitter. Anything that is not like genre defining being this is just a DLC, because we've had it with God of War and now we're having it with Splatoon. We're having the same damn conversations, and we'll get into it soon enough. We'll talk about it. And who knows, maybe we'll talk about some other random things that have been happening. I know Spider-Man's been having some fun discussions about Batman and all of that jazz and PlayStation exclusivity.
I feel like I've been hearing more discussions about that now than I did when the game came out. It's really funny.
That PC audience is just really loving comparing those two games. So who knows, we'll see what we'll talk about. But yeah, welcome back to the show, everybody. Obviously, every Monday we come to you talk about everything we love in gaming. That was a bit mumbly. Can you tell that we're recording this late? Who knows? But now you can find us on podcast services everywhere. Just search for Hot Gamers Only or go to the link tree in the description or at linktr.ee/hotgamersonly. You can find us on your favorite podcast service, or you can look at our stupid faces every week at youtube.com/hotgamersonly. Housekeeping, thank you for 150 subscribers on YouTube. Woo! That came up out of nowhere. We appreciate it. It's good. It's good to see you guys hang out. It's always, obviously with YouTube, it's always a slow trickle, so I don't really keep track of the YouTube sub number, but that's cool. We appreciate it. And if you can keep pushing that, if you're on audio and you just like to throw us a sub, you don't have to watch the YouTube videos, but if you throw us a sub, appreciate it. I feel like the higher the number is, the more people think that we're worth it, when it's like the quality's not going to get better if you sub. It's probably going to get worse because we're going to take the vanity to our heads. But, you know, it makes us feel good. So if you have a spare minute, we'd really appreciate it. And just thank you for keeping up to date with the podcast. Thank you for supporting it, as always. Yeah. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it as we delve into the madness. It's been, like I say, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. We've had some highs, we've had some lows, we've had some people screaming about Elden Ring again, as we always do. But, you know, it's been fun regardless.
The funny thing is, the guy that was screaming about Elden Ring, I feel that's like the most calm one.
And also, he's my favorite. I like that guy. If you're listening, Elden Ring guy,
straight to the point.
You're my favorite. I absolutely loved you. You're great.
Love a straight shooter.
We genuinely
respect it.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. But anyway, let's get into talking about video games. Let's talk about Cult of the Lamb. So this kind of sprung up out of nowhere. I forgot this game was coming out. It's an
I don't think I
interesting
knew
little
this
game.
was coming out.
So
I did because
Hunter, you've been playing it. How much have you played? You played a couple of hours, right?
I play. All right, I think I'm somewhere between like 6 and 8 hours. I
You
played
played
a
quite
little
a bit.
bit.
You played it like all
Yeah.
day today because I was on
I
Switch.
played
and I
like
saw you
4
playing
or
it.
5 hours today, and I played like 2 hours the other day, and maybe squeezed in a little bit of time yesterday. But it's like 6 to 8 hours ish. I beat like the first little area they give you.
Yeah, Hunter's
So-
just giving me a chance to still try and finish Xenoblade 3 before he comes in with the roundhouse kick and just destroys me late this week.
It's okay, Ethan,
He's
because
gotta
Roller
increase that
Drome comes out
buffer.
next week, so I'm still gonna be busy.
That's what you think. That's what you think. I'll find another side quest. It'll be somewhere. It'll be somewhere. But no, I feel like I'm gonna have to finish it this week because I feel like if I don't, Cal's personally gonna fly to my house and kill me because he's like, I'm sick of waiting. You've had 3 weeks. Just fucking finish the game.
Oh please! I
You
need
know,
to
I've
talk
been
to
whole-
maybe you
someone
should have
about
paced
this.
yourself a bit better, Kyle.
Yeah, Cal didn't want spoilers, and I'm like, can't have spoilers if I refuse to go on Twitter like everybody should. Because who likes Twitter? Let's be real. Who likes Twitter? No one. But anyway, so this game came out, sparked some interesting conversations. One thing I think is very interesting, and I don't know, I got into this mentality as well, Hunter, is this game's not on Game Pass, which
No,
a lot of people were talking about as, because obviously this is published by Devolver, right?
Yeah.
A lot of Devolver's indies have recently been going day one on Game Pass, and this one hasn't. And it's been a bit interesting because I've seen a lot of people complaining that it's not on Game Pass. And I also, to be honest, was shocked because I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, hey, it's not on Game Pass. And so it's like, you've got this whole interesting thing of people now kind of getting into this culture already of expecting
I think the
indie
Dev
games
Store
to
caused
be
the same kind of conversation last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I
Another
feel like
Devolver
people are
game.
now kind of expecting indie games to be on a service, whether it's Game Pass or PS, whatever they're calling it. I can't remember. Extra with Stray, that being on their day one.
PlayStation
Someday we'll
tier
learn.
2 and 3.
PlayStation tier that is actually worth it because they already
PlayStation
stopped adding stuff
Premium?
to premium. It's extra. It's extra,
Oh,
right?
it's
Extra is the
extra.
Game Vault. Premium's where
That's
you get
whack.
Ape Escape. Premium's where you get Ape
Oh,
Escape and
good.
nothing else because they're refusing to add any other games. That's it. Please, for the love of God,
Glad
if you're on
Ape Escape is
PlayStation,
what they
just
chose.
if you're on PlayStation, just fucking get extra. Do not pay the extra money for premium. It's not worth it. Please, for the love of God. But anyway. So it's not on there. And I feel like it strikes an interesting conversation because everyone's kind of expecting indie games to just be on streaming platforms now, which is kind of an unhealthy thing to have.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm
not good.
interested.
And honestly, I respect indie developers who are willing to say that they know what they're worth and be like, oh, nah, we'll go with just charging you the 25 or whatever.
Because I'm
like,
interested. Because I'm
I
interested.
won't
in this.
expect Supergiant's next game to be on Game Pass right away because you know what? They could charge people.
Or if it is, you're expecting them to make a huge amount of money from that deal.
Yeah.
If they do,
Yeah, that deal is going to be like a
pretty big bang
check.
for them, yeah. So I feel like it's an interesting conversation, right? Because for those of you who don't know what this game is, Cult of the Lamb, it's basically kind of a mixture of a game like Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley mixed with like it's kind of like
it's like a
kind of dungeon crawler thing.
It's
isn't
a
it?
dungeon crawling roguelike
Yeah.
kind of game with a town building simulator aspect.
Yeah, like a Stardew
like-
kind of sim thing.
Like if you've
on the
been
side.
reading articles or reviews on it, people are probably dropping Animal Crossing and Hades in the
They love to do that. They love to compare games.
because that's
Here.
that's all the imagination that people have.
It is true. If there's one thing the
What's
game
the
industry loves to do,
source
it's like,
of-
quickly, a new kind of game concept. What are the 2 games that we can say it is like so that we can look unoriginal? That's what I love. It's great.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
Yeah, so,
But no, because I think it's interesting, right, with this game. Sorry, Hunter, because it's like, those are 2 game genres that people love. So it's like, I feel like this game's going to do fab, and I think it's probably already done great, and it's going to sell a load of copies. And it's like, I feel like that's why it's interesting to me that it's not on Game Pass, is because it's like, this feels like a game that would blow up on Game Pass, but also it's a game that kind of deserves in its own right to just be bought flat out and make a load of money. So I guess, as you're going into this, I guess the big question at the end of it is going to be, is it worth is it worth plunging into it? Is it good? Is it worth plunging in? So I don't know. Get started. It's your job. You've got to determine this. You've got to determine for the whole world whether indies can still survive without subscriptions, Hunter. It's up to you.
Yeah. Anyway, so Cult of the Lamb, the whole setup is like, it starts the game. You're like the last lamb, I believe, being put to death by these four bishops of the old gods because it was foretold that a lamb would bring about the return of like the one in chains, which is like Lamb Satan, I guess.
Okay.
Lamb Satan.
I don't remember. That's the best way I can describe him is like Lamb Satan.
No, I like it. Keep going.
And so they put you to death, but that only accelerates the process because then Lamb Satan is like, here, I'm going to bring you back from the dead and you're going to start a cult in my name and all of that. And so then from there it like starts tutorializing the building your town out and then what you can do in the dungeons and all of that. And slowly just drip feeding you systems and whatnot. Like the first thing they do is like set up some beds and a food or a cooking fire and all
and
of
the
that.
food and the food.
And a food.
What every town needs. You need a building, you need a food. What else do you need? A bed, just one. Yeah.
Set up your temple for your culty things, and it does a good job at making it feed. Like it does this. There's really good synergy between the stuff that feeds into, like, when you deliver your sermons every day to your followers, like depending on how much devotion they have for you, it'll give you points that feed into. You can choose a thing on a tree for what you want your dungeon stuff in your dungeon to be, like better weapons or a better projectile thing. And then when you go into dungeons, you can bring resources back and all of that. So
yeah, I think the thing that I love, I think the thing that I really like about this game is its whole kind of personality and kind of aesthetic, where it is.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing quite opposing than the aesthetic that it's going for and the kind of games that it's taken inspiration from. It's like, Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, all these kind of sim building kind of social games are very much of the wholesome variety. It's always about, having animal villagers who talk to you and give you gifts and you celebrate your birthday on a very desolate and very boring island. Or with Stardew Valley, it's, hey, you're a farmer boy, grow some turnips and maybe get married, It's like they're very wholesome kind of ideas. So then the whole idea of having a town where everybody is acting all kind of in the similar kind of manner of all like happy-go-lucky, well, hey, but them all just being like, praise Satan. Yeah. Being like, praise Satan, let me eat my own shit. It's like, it's so weird. It's like, that actually happens, Kyle. I've done my research. People will ask if they can eat their own shit.
Yeah, your followers will try to get you to feed droppings to like other followers that I guess they didn't like, because you can like rename them and stuff. I forget. Ethan, I named one after you.
Oh, so great! I bet you made that one shit, didn't you?
No, you were asking me to feed someone else.
That sounds about right. Okay,
I think it was Zippy, and I told you no.
No one tells me no. I'll do it myself.
Don't worry, Kyle. You're also a member of my cult.
Oh, goody.
I'll get you to eat shit eventually.
The whole fam is there.
The whole family, all of us in this.
But yeah, I named my little settlement Barnum, like from Yarnum from Bloodborne, but with a B because lambs and barns.
Yeah, that's Bergenworth. Yeah. No, I like it.
So yeah. But yeah, the aesthetic does a good job because it makes it messed up without being horrific. Because like if I said something like, "Oh, I fed the followers the remains of the elderly" or something, you guys would think that out of context I was just talking too casually about a horror game.
Yeah.
But
context is helpful for this.
Yeah, but in this case, it's kind of, I have not actually fed my followers the deceased people yet, or at all.
Yeah,
I mean, but only one person's died on my watch.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah,
because I guess the main question for this is, obviously it has the charm. The art style is also very kind of, it's got that I don't know how to describe it. It has that kind of indie style, which I feel like a lot of games have kind of gone for, where it's like it's pleasing on the. It's like a lot
If
of
it
indie
had less
games go for
budget, it
it.
would be a
Yeah,
Flash game.
yeah. It has like that kind of pleasing art style, which is simple yet it works, and it kind of appeals to a broader audience, right? It's kind of got that. And I feel like it's interesting that they have mashed these two extremely popular genres kind of together and have them be like a kind of yin and yang, how one affects the other,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Obviously, the big worry with kind of one of these things is where, in like these kinds of games, where you have two completely separate gameplay loops in a way, is have they managed to nail both of them in your opinion? Do you think that they're both to the same quality? Do you think that they balance each other out nicely? Because obviously sometimes you have those games where a lot of effort is put into one of them, but not necessarily the other, and then sometimes you have a good balance. So I'm just wondering how they managed to do that.
So, respective of itself, like the two sides of the
Mm.
gameplay that you're going on, I feel like both of them are kind of up to a par with each other. It's
Mhm.
one of those things where, say, if you want to say, like, the dungeon crawling isn't as crazy as something like Hades, but not it doesn't have to be, because very few things are as good as Hades. There hasn't been a game released since Hades that I like as much as Hades.
Same.
True, video
Stop
games
thinking.
ended with Hades.
It's
It
true.
did.
I finally bought a copy. It's true. I own that now.
And then like I
Now
haven't
we
played
all own it.
And then I haven't played any of these management sim games besides Spiritfarer, so
How dare you?
I can't really compare it to like Animal Crossing or
It's
something
funny
like
because yeah,
that. But
I'd have a great comparison because that shit is my jam. I'm like, yo, wet paint dry the video game, sign me up, baby. Let's go. You bet I downloaded that Power Wash sim on Game Pass. I will get to it. Don't you worry, ladies and
oh
gentlemen. I'll
god.
get to
Of
that
course you
shit.
did.
Fucking hell yeah, dude. Ready to go all dad on everybody. Fucking hose that
Square
shitty
Enix's
wall
newest
down, bro.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
Square Enix?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Epic. Anyway.
But yeah, so as far as like the game and its two different like branches of gameplay, I feel like compared to each other, they do a good enough job at being like I like them both. And I did, however, hit a kind of bump in the road
Okay.
earlier today with the way it was paced, because it wanted me to do like a ritual. It was trying to tutorialize the rituals or whatever. And because I had kind of went off and built a couple of other things that were available to me now, my resources were not at the maximum that they could be. So suddenly I couldn't do this ritual because they locked me out of the dungeon and I didn't have the resources to do the ritual. So I was sitting there like fast forwarding time so that the trees would grow back so I could have enough wood to make
Okay.
this ritual happen. And I'm like,
I hate
okay.
collectibles.
So,
I hate shit like that, bro. We were just talking about this off stream. We were just talking about this off stream. I hate fucking collectible mini like quests or anything like that. Fuck that shit off,
yeah,
bro. No one
like
wants
usually it doesn't matter because like especially the more as it more goes on, you can like just tell your followers to do things like chop down the trees and whatever. And while you go out killing things in the dungeon, when you come back, there will be a chest full of supplies for you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like in Horizon, where there's the chest of goodies when you go back to the base.
Yeah, that you forget.
That
People are
way.
like, hey, I went and did a thing. I'm like, no, you fucking didn't. You've sat on your ass all day. I know what you did.
But yeah, it's kind of like that. And you can assign people to, yeah. And then you just get more things that you can assign people to do to create less busy work for you while you're doing it. Because like there are some things where like for a while I had to be watering the plants and all that for the food. My people had been starving for quite a bit up until the point where I was able to assign them to make or harvest the plants and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. No, fair enough. Fair enough. It's interesting, yeah. So would you say you're enjoying it at the moment? Because
yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's nice, and I haven't really talked too much. The dungeon crawling is pretty good in and of itself. Like there's this tarot card system which basically buffs you in a way. It'll be like
nice.
one extra heart, or like if you take damage, it'll do 10% damage to everything on screen or something like that.
Oh, so kind of like Binding of Isaac kind of buff debuff kind of thing. Do you find them like in the world kind of similar to that?
You find them in like there's a tarot card person that you can find in like a room.
Yeah, so like the shop, like
yeah,
the shop in Binding of Isaac. Okay.
Yeah, and then like the and then there's like weapons that all have like their own drawbacks and stuff. And the more that you upgrade your little weapon thing, the more that like you can choose to like get necromantic swords or whatever, which will when you kill something, a little ghost will pop up and do extra damage for you. Or like vampiric, it's like the do damage and you get some health back kind of thing every now and then.
That's
So
interesting.
that's nice. Some of their weapon types I could do without. They have this little gauntlet weapon that does a three-piece combo that is really slow, and I don't like that one.
Yeah, that
But the
kind of
sword
thing.
and the
Like it kind of
dagger,
does. It does.
I always
Yeah, it does sound a lot like Isaac in a way because like Isaac is always built on that kind of
I can
formula
never
of
get into
shops.
the
And
binding
I
of
was
Isaac.
never huge on it myself. I played bits and pieces of it, but I could never truly get into it like people did. But that's what like I know with these dungeon builders, a lot like dungeon crawlers. Sorry, dungeon builders. It's like the merging of the two fucking genres right there. That's what they should call it. They should call it a dungeon build. Anyway,
Yeah.
But you're not
but
building the
but you're not
dungeons.
building the dungeon. Yeah, I guess would that be what if Zelda Maker would be a dungeon builder? Who knows? Anyway, but I feel like the reason that people like those kind of games like Isaac are the kind of people that love these builds and kind of having to work on the fly. And I don't
Yeah.
know if it's to the same extent with like buffs and debuffs, but I feel like it kind of helps with that kind of random generation. Not everyone's the same. You're gonna have drawbacks. You're gonna have
Yeah, it does help. I
benefits to
can't
it.
say that there's been a time where I've been like there's nothing like in where I've been going for a specific build, like how in like Hades, I'll be like, I'll focus on the Ares stuff so I can do like big damage with the black metal blade riffs and all of that. There's nothing like
Yeah,
that that's happened yet, but it's just been enough things to, keep my interest and so it doesn't feel too samey.
yeah.
And yeah, the way the areas work, like it basically you because you're taking out these four bishops that put you to death, and it's like one for each of them.
hmm
Uh, you gotta do a run up to one of them, seemingly so far, 4 times
Okay.
to be able to unlock the right to fight them, essentially. And it gets like it starts off a little short, like 3 rooms or like
hmm
3 segments because there are like rooms where you're just walking from place to place, and then that ends, and then you get like another segment where you like choose where you
hmm
want to go on the map.
Yeah.
And you get to like that, and you fight a mini boss at the end of that, who will usually turn into a follower for you to indoctrinate. And
hmm
then after you do that like 3 times, the fourth time it'll unlock the boss fight. So
That's interesting. Do you think that it'll overstay its welcome?
uh the actual run, like even the longest run up to it, like the fourth time for the one guy, wasn't that long.
hmm
It's and I don't necessarily mind that they are longer because it means that I can just, choose something different to get resources for because like the map gives you options on where to go, but you can only go in like a straight line from what you pick.
Yeah.
You can't go back and then choose like say you wanted to go to the wood area to get your lumber or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't go back after that and decide you also want to get your stone or whatever. So it doesn't necessarily bother me that they continue to get longer because even then, like it only took me 15 minutes was the maximum, and I think that was with the boss fights at the end.
Yeah. So
So
it's like because it's like I feel like people have kind of realized that, and I think Hades was one of those games that kind of did it for people, where it was like 20 minutes for a full run is like kind of like perfect kind of length, where you don't
yeah,
want to kind of go over that because I think the beauty like the beauty
yeah.
of
Then months
Hades
later, when
is
I was playing Return, I was like 3 hours for all of it.
Ugh.
Returnal's great though. Returnal is great.
It is great. It is great. Don't mistake me, but
It is
the
great,
fact
and
that
it's
I can
even
just
better now
do
that you can end the cycle and not have to fucking
yeah.
worry about leaving the game running in the background and leaving your PlayStation on rest mode. I feel like it's less of a problem now. But
The
yeah,
only
yeah.
way I could foresee that becoming like a problem in this game is because I haven't actually done like a second run in the second area,
Mhm.
and I think I died on my first attempt too. Which, by the way, it doesn't totally negate everything that you get if you die. It just kind of
Okay.
slashes it a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's nice and like it's this game seems pretty approachable for this kind of genre as far as like the dungeon crawling thing because a lot of them is like you lose everything, start from scratch.
You'd assume so as well, because like you say, when you're merging it with a kind of city builder, kind of Animal
A
Crossing,
very
kind
more
of
casual kind of
casual, you
experience.
kind of do want it to be more of a approachable kind of first time dungeon crawling adventure, because you're going to assume that the audience that comes for the Animal Crossing kind of side of it aren't going to be expecting to be absolutely like destroying things on like heat level 18 or whatever, like you
Kickingly
are in
hard.
Hades. Yeah,
Yeah,
but no,
but
it's interesting.
yeah, I guess maybe the one little thing here is like, so character wise, like everything, like the game as a whole has like personality, but none of the followers or anything, aside from the fact that I've just been naming them after people, they don't really like. They have little traits that change things. Like some guys, like, oh, he regenerates from being sick quicker if you send him to bed or whatever, or like
Mhm.
some guys are, they'll lose faith if one dies because they're afraid of dying or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But they don't really, there's no characters that really feel like they matter
Mm.
aside from maybe Lamb Satan. You know? But like I had some guy helping me out. He was like the Lamb Satan's previous disciple. He was the kind of tutorial man, and now I can go play this dice mini game with him. But that's about it. Yeah, there's a mini game.
I love playing Yahtzee with Lamb Satan.
It's not Yahtzee exactly. It's this weird thing, and it's like a 3x3 grid with like each person has one.
Triad.
And basically if you put a dice that's like the same number in the column adjacent to theirs, it'll undo it, and whoever has the best score at the end of whoever fills up their grid first wins. And like putting matching numbers in the same column will multiply it.
Cool.
I played this game for like an hour earlier today because you can bet money on it is why. So like I'm like, so my followers were going to be very upset with me if I came back and they realized I blew the bank on gambling with dice, so I had to come back winning,
Fair enough. So yeah, I guess. So overall, concluding thoughts. So you enjoying it? You think it's worth? Do you think it's worth picking up? Is I guess the question, because obviously you're paying for it no matter what. Is it worth it?
I did pay for it, and I don't feel shorted. So like, yeah, it seems like I also didn't feel, aside from that stupid ritual thing, which I guess might be on me for just doing things while they were trying to tell me to do something else. But aside from that, I don't feel like they halted my progress or anything really. I feel like it's only going to get more smooth from here. Like a lot of these things go, where it's kind of rough at the beginning, and then you just get things sorted out as you go.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be interested to see how this game does, and I'm also going to be interested to see how vocal it is in terms of like gaming conversation, because like I feel like a lot of games, indie games as of recently, like say what you want about Game Pass and stuff like that, but Tunic and all these other little indie games that have come out, I feel like I've got a lot of noise on Twitter because everybody can just kind of download it if they have the subscription. So I think it's going to be interesting to see if this one can do it without, because I'm kind of scared that if it doesn't, we're going to be stuck in a fucking Game Pass PlayStation Plus extra hell where it's like, hey guys, we're just going to fight over our indies. And then it's like,
there has still been notable indie games that have come out without that. Like Sifu came out before that, and then Neon White, people liked that quite a bit. This, even last year, like I said before, Death's Door wasn't on Game Pass at the start. And I feel like this game is going to benefit from not coming out on Game Pass yet, because it's doing pretty good in its opening week, it seems.
And then get that Game Pass bank a couple months later.
I don't have the numbers or anything to substantiate that. I'm just going off of like the chatter. And then when it goes to Game Pass, it'll be like renewed interest, more people, etc.
Fair enough. Well, glad you're enjoying it. Now get back to Xenoblade 3 and whoop my ass real quick.
Get back to that, right? Just in time to put it down for Rollerdrome.
Why not? You can get through a bit more of it. I know. I believe. Right. With that out of the way, with the game out of the way, let's talk about the other game that's coming out this year. One of two.
The only other one.
No, God of War might still make it. We'll see. We'll see. We've still not seen a final trailer for it, so who knows? They say.
There's supposedly Pokemon coming out this. At the end
Oh,
of the
fuck
year.
that off, dude.
Pokemon
Good
isn't
thing
going to
it's
get
not real.
delayed.
Yeah.
I don't see
It'll
a
come out
world.
no matter what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't see
That
a
game
world where
ain't
that
fucking-
gets delayed.
We haven't talked about Pokemon either, have we?
Nope.
Does anyone
I
have
asked you,
anything?
I asked
well.
you guys last week.
Does
if
anyone
you
have
wanted
anything to add on
and then you
Pokemon
made me
before we
make a 3x3.
talk about Splatoon? I have nothing to say about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, really.
They added in a new Wooper, and that made me reconsider if I'm skipping this game or not.
As someone who isn't going to buy it and hasn't bought one in years, the Woofer made me happy.
Yeah.
All we care about is Wooper.
All I've learned is if this game isn't split like 80-20 Scarlet and Violet over Scarlet, I'm gonna be really surprised, because if even as an 8-year-old, I'd look at that fucking red dragon running with it instead of, while still having the appearance of having wheels, and go, that shit's dumb. Give me the fucking cyber bike, thank you. All
Didn't
my
you say
homies hate
something
Team
last week
Orange.
about how you don't like the Pokemon stations or gas
Oh yeah, and the
stations?
fucking gas stations look stupid, dude. Having there's like an image of the Pokemon centers that was going around, and it was like Nurse Joy going, "Hello, welcome to my gas station. Meet my friend Mark. He runs the Pokemon, and meet my other friend Vending Machine. He's the online communication person." Like it doesn't.
Vending machine.
It's just like, why is the vending machine behind a counter with a screen in front of it that you interact with? Why is the vending machine got? It looks like the vending machine was an asset they made, and then they just stuck it in the Pokemon. It's stupid. It's Pokemon shit. No one cares. I think that game lives and dies by how actually open it is. Is it actually going to be a level scaled Pokemon game where the gyms change scaling in Pokemon based on when you fight them in what order? Or is it what I think it's going to be, where the game's like, you can do it in any order, but the ice gym's always going to be level 30 odd, and the grass gym's always going to be level 20. And it's just like, the game's like, you can beat the harder ones first if you want. I think that's what they're going to do, because I feel like it's Pokemon, and I feel like they're going to do a misstep.
I'm pretty sure I saw an article. I couldn't remember if it was a leak or a rumor that said it wasn't gonna scale.
That's what I think, yeah. I wouldn't be
And
shocked.
honestly, it didn't even surprise me knowing Game Freak.
Imagine
So
going
there
back
isn't
to like Route 1 and being bodied by a level 50 Bidoof.
That game's gonna be interesting to see, because it's gonna be a bit of a mixed bag. I feel like every Pokemon game, I don't think it's gonna be a home run in the slightest. But don't worry, guys. They'll release
sure is
DLC for it, and
Pokemon.
everyone will be like, "It's saved, guys. It's saved. They added a fucking
Look,
snow
it's the good
biome."
part.
Yeah.
Remember when Urshifu saved Sword and Shield?
I
No,
remember
I
when it
forgot about
ruined
Urshifu.
competitive.
Yeah, I forgot that they even did. I forgot there was a first part to that DLC. I just remember Crown Tundra. That's it.
That's because the first part sucked.
Cool. Well, there you go. More you know. Anyway, Splatoon 3, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it. So, we finally got a direct where they admitted what the fuck was happening with Splatoon 3. They were like, "Hey guys, want to see some idols?"
This thing's out in a month. Which
Yeah.
should tell you things about it.
So, we've all watched the Splatoon 3 direct. We've all watched it. We're gonna talk about what they announced, and then we're gonna decide, do we think of this? We're all buying it. We're not gonna do it. Is it worth it? Are we gonna buy it? Because we all know we're gonna buy it.
Is
So
it overrated?
But I guess the question is what are our overall thoughts? Are they exceeding expectations? Are they about where we think? Do you think they're not doing enough? Where do we stand on Splatoon 3 as a new entry in a franchise with a 5-year gap? Is basically what we're going to do. So, Kyle, have you got like a highlight reel, like what they did in what order? Cool.
Well, I don't think it's an order, but
That's fine.
Looks like everything that was in there.
If everything's in there,
what do you expect?
yeah, you roll with it, dude. We'll just roll. We'll go to the beat of your drum, dude. We'll just live. We'll just live as it comes.
Well, the first thing they mentioned in the article is photo mode. You can take selfies because every game needs a photo mode. Moving on from that.
Sorry, I was writing down. I was writing timestamps, guys. I was writing timestamps. Sorry.
I mean, there's nothing to add to photo mode.
I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah,
I think
it's
Splatoon
fun,
very
yeah.
much lives. I feel like Splatoon
Yeah.
lives and dies by its culture and its kind of community. So I feel like this is one of those games where I'm like, photo mode makes sense. Being
Yeah,
able
photo
to
mode. I don't
being
think any
able
game is going to be hurt by
hurt by
photo
photo
mode.
mode. But
I
I
guess
feel
Yeah.
unless
like
it sucks.
But I
It's
feel
a
like a
fun little
game. I feel
distraction,
like
if
a
nothing
game
else.
like Splatoon is one of the ones that benefits. I see games in. I see photo modes in video games, and I'm like, no one is gonna ever fucking touch that photo mode. Like, no one's ever looking at like, a lot of games and going, do you know what? I need a photo mode. A lot of them are like, no. Splatoon, I 100% see why, because if it's all about customizing your character and making yourself look cool and doing all that shit, and especially how I'm sure we'll bring it up later, you can put it in your own locker so you can have people look at your photo in game. I feel like it's I feel like it's good. It's fine.
Yeah.
Could have been a patch, am I right, guys? Ha! God, fuck you people. What's next?
Next up we got some new techniques for in battles. There's the
Yes.
squid surge and the squid roll. Squid surge lets you climb up walls faster with just like this big burst upward.
Skaboosh. Yeah.
And then the squid roll is like a 180 dodge roll that gives you some iframes and repels ink at the start of it.
Oh, nice.
And how often
It's a
can you
neat
do
little-
that?
It doesn't say, and I don't think they said it in the thing.
I hope there's a cooldown on it. That's my only.
I would imagine there would be, because Ethan, you played Splatoon 2.
I did play Splatoon 2.
Did the dualies dodge roll have a cooldown?
Yes.
Okay.
It was
so I
like-
imagine
it was like
it'd be
roll-
similar.
Roll. Like, it wasn't like you couldn't just
Was
keep going,
there
roll,
any-
roll.
I'm just if you can just roll forever, I'm just imagining a whole bunch of people Dark Soulsing this where they just like, roll.
There's like a stop. My only concern, like,
Yeah.
the split.
I think the iframes are only on startup.
Yeah, and the problem with the dualies was the dualies roll wasn't. Kill me, Splatoon fans. I don't think it was that good. I don't think it was that good feeling. It kind of it just kind of felt a bit clunky because it was in whatever direction the left analog stick was. It just kind of, it felt a bit jarring and a bit janky. It didn't feel perfect.
Well, I think it was more utility for aiming because
Yeah.
it put both reticles overlapping each other, so it was basically double damage.
It was, and I feel like that's what it was. But I feel like as a dodge, it didn't really feel that good. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that a 180 kind of thing feels good and doesn't just feel a bit clunky. That's my only problem with
Mhm.
it.
But-
The jumping thing is, I think, is good because literally ever since Splatoon 1, the tech for getting up walls is just fucking mashing the B button anyway. So it's like fair enough
Yeah.
just having a big skadoosh
Yeah.
up. That's fine by me.
That's the other thing. I feel like Splatoon has been missing some kind of like movement tech in the game, where it's, I don't know, the game's felt very basic. So having these new techniques is a nice inclusion.
Because I think people were mad because when the dualies were shown for the first time and you saw dodge roll, people were expecting dodge roll to just be a thing on all classes.
Yeah.
And then it was only for the dualies. So I feel like people were a bit upset with that. So I feel like adding movement tech that is universal for all classes is something that was definitely needed in Splatoon.
Yeah.
And especially for competitive modes. I feel like it'll work a lot better.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of impact it makes on the game as a
will.
whole.
It'll either make a big difference or it'll make fuck all. We'll see. We'll see. These things are always hit and miss.
Yeah.
All right. Next
Yeah.
up, abilities. Abilities have been taken out from Splatoon 2. Main power up and bomb defense up are gone,
Good.
which it's really good because bomb defense up, like, that was just a ubiquitous ability. Everyone would run that because there's no reason not to if you just have open slots on your gear.
Grenade.
Yeah.
Bomb defense up was broken, and main power up was also fucking stupid, to be honest.
Main power up was just weird
Yeah.
because it
Okay.
had different effects for different weapons.
It wasn't just a unanimous boost of damage, and it wasn't and it just wasn't. My problem with a lot of Splatoon kind of abilities are they're not what they say on the tin, and that one is the fucking pinnacle of it, where it does so much random shit, and it's like, I'd rather you just remove it. That's fine by me.
Yeah.
Perfectly okay with that. I'm not gonna miss
Yeah.
either of them.
Then new abilities they added Intensify
God.
action. This increases the effectiveness of Squid Roll and Squid Surge, the two new movement
Yeah.
options.
That could be fucking
And then,
broken. I'm already gonna say that then. I feel like that
oh
could already
yeah,
be fucking busted.
and then Sub Resist Up diminishes enemy sub weapon effects. So that's
The
kind of like your
replacement for bomb defense up, basically.
kinda, yeah. But it would also probably take into account things like the toxic mist
Yeah,
and
probably.
trackers and stuff like that.
That's fine. Simplifying secondary defense up is perfectly fine. I just hope it's not a bit too much because
Yeah.
again, if it
imagine the roll
basically
being fine.
nullifies, yeah,
It'd be silly if they took out bomb defense up and just made another bomb
Replaced-
defense up.
but for every size,
It
for
nerfed
every
everything.
special,
Yeah.
for every side
Yeah.
sub weapon, yeah. Be a bit
All
dumb.
right. Into the battle stages, we have
Yes.
6 new stages and 6 returning stages. Returning stages only from Splatoon 2.
Real?
Those
Oh, I
are-
did not notice that
Yeah.
they were all from Splatoon 2.
Moray Towers is dead.
For
Moray
now, they're
Towers
gonna bring
is
it back.
dead.
The day I'm gonna tell you
Triggerfish
guys,
is dead.
I'm telling you this right now. The day Moray Towers gets added to Splatoon 3 is the day I stop playing Splatoon 3. I'm putting that out as a threat right now, Nintendo. That is
Oh,
the day.
please don't.
I
don't wanna go to
I
Tilted
don't
Towers.
want to play that fucking awful map ever again. I don't care. It's awful.
Ugh.
So anyway, list the maps because there's obviously 6
So-
new maps. You can just say the new maps because I don't remember what they are. So I'm not gonna have an opinion. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna make an opinion on a map until I've played them. So just name them off.
Exactly. So our new maps, we got Scorch Gorge, Eeltail Alley, Hagglefish Market, Undertow Spillway.
Hagglefish Market is a great name. Sorry, Karen, what was
Yeah,
that
it
one
is.
that you just said?
Undertow Spillway,
Mhm.
Hammerhead Bridge, and Mincemeat Metalworks.
Hammerhead Bridge is new.
I think it is.
It looks a lot like something I've already seen, but yeah, it's new. It feels very
No, it's
similar
not.
in layout.
It's a
It's
moon.
not?
It's a map from Splatoon. I knew it. Basically, this is the interesting one. It's a new map, but it's based on a Splatoon 1 map. So if you've ever
Okay.
played
Oh.
Call of Duty, the way that I'll
Whack.
say it to you is it's like in Black Ops 2 where they were doing remakes of old maps, but they were new. And what I mean by that is they made like firing range into like a studio. So instead of into like a shooting range, it was like a movie studio. So they turned a map that was
Oh,
originally
right.
like a Cold
Yeah.
War firing range into a 2025 movie studio where the map was basically the same, but it had a new coat of paint. So Hammerhead Bridge was a map of a bridge that on the underside of a bridge that was during construction, I believe. And now the map is now the bridge is fully finished, and that's the bridge between Inkopolis and Splatsville. So
Yeah.
you're now
Alright.
battling on the complete bridge, is what I believe. I'm going to go to the Splatoon
Okay.
wiki. Several reworks since Splatoon. The bridge has finished construction, meaning that there's now a roof on the stage. Also, all grates on the stage have been filled in. Yeah, so it's basically a remake in that essence where they've changed the design of it, but it's practically the same map. So the only returning map from Splatoon
Okay.
1, but it's different.
Okay. Yeah, and then over on the Splatoon 2 side of the maps, we got
Yeah.
Museum de Alfonsino,
Good map.
Mahi Mahi Resort,
Good map.
Wahoo World,
Good map.
Mako Mart, or Mako Mart.
Good. Fucking love that map. That's a good one. This one. Mako Mart. Was that a base game one, I think? Let's have a look. Mako Mart.
Sturgeon Shipyard, and Inkblot Art Academy.
No, Mako Mart was a DLC one, but it's fucking great. And all the Splatoon maps that they picked are good, for the most part,
Yeah.
from what I remember.
Yeah.
But that's also because most of Splatoon 2's maps were good. Splatoon 2 had a
Yeah.
much better map roster than Splatoon 1.
So yeah,
Which is
12
nice.
stages at launch, and
Which is
then
way more. I did a bit of
more
research.
coming later.
I did a bit of research.
And-
That is 4 more maps than Splatoon 2, because Splatoon 2 only had 8 maps at launch. And don't you worry, I know what you're thinking. Hey guys, but Splatoon 2's doing half remakes. Splatoon 2 had 3 remakes at launch, so it technically only had fucking 5 maps at launch, which is the same number as Splatoon 1, because Splatoon 1 had 5 maps at launch. Fucking 5.
I thought it only had 4.
No, 5.
How did
It
they
was
have-
5.
How did they have 5 maps in a game with a 2-map rotation?
That's why I thought it was only 4. I thought it was like Black Belly
Stupid.
Skate Park,
No,
the other
It
one.
was Arowana Mall, Blackbelly Skate Park, Salt Spray Rig, Urchin Underpass, and Wooleye Warehouse. There was 5.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I just never drew Salt Spray Rig until later.
No, are you ready for this? This was what was dumb about Splatoon, and I fucking hated when they originally did this. They released Port Mackerel. Literally, the game came out on May 29th. They released Port Mackerel on June 1st.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they released a map like every week to 2 weeks after that. So
Right.
it was like, it was so dumb. So it was 5 maps at launch, 6 if you waited 3 days. I'm like, come the fuck on. Release 6 maps. Like you say, it's a 2 map rotation. Release 6 maps at launch, you dumbasses. Anyway, I digress.
All right.
12
Yeah,
is a
that's
much better. It's a much better
12.
pool.
Yeah,
12 is a
for
really
sure.
good, especially considering, I don't know if the article mentions this later, they kept the 2 map
I'm
rotation
so
in this
pissed,
game.
dude. I'm so
It's
fucking
really
annoyed.
fucking stupid.
I'm really
Oh my
hoping
God.
my prayer.
I
My
hope it's a
prayer
shorter
is
cooldown at least.
that's my prayer. Is now
Better
that the
be.
news that'll be in the thing later. Now that the news doesn't fucking take over your life and go, "Hey, bitches, ready for a waste of 2 minutes of your life?" Now that
Stay
it doesn't do
fresh.
that,
2-minute
hoping-
unskippable cutscene.
I'm hoping that at most the cooldown is 2 hours. I am praying
Yeah.
that they shorten that. 4 hours with 2 maps is
4
far
hours
too
is
long.
so dumb.
Far too
If
long.
you played that game for 12 hours, you'd only get to see like 3 different maps or 6 different maps.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they've shortened that cooldown. I also think there's basically 3 queues now because there's solo competitive, team competitive, and regular, and they all have
Mhm.
different rotations. At least there's
Yeah.
like 3 subsets of maps. I know
Yeah.
that team is not going to be for everybody because not everybody's going to have a team for Splatoon, but at least having those options are there. I also pray they did not announce this. I swear to God, if the fucking Splatoon Salmon Run is gatekept to certain days and times again, I'm gonna be so fucking annoyed because
Oh
that's the
my
most
God.
dumb. Let's have our co-op solo mode randomly run and 8-hour intervals on random days. What dumb idea? Who came up with that, bro? Like, so dumb. Why are we still doing this? It's 2022. Why do we still have rotations and on and off time for side modes? Dumb.
Oh,
Anyway,
boy.
sorry, Kyle. I had to get the rant out. I had to.
Nah, you're fine. You pretty much hit what I was hoping you'd hit with that argument.
It's just dumb.
Because, God, I love Splatoon, but it makes some questionable choices.
Can you imagine if Call of Duty did that,
Yeah.
dude? Oh, sorry. For 4 hours, all you can play is fucking Nuketown and fucking firing range. Have fun playing the same 2 maps for 4 hours. I'm like, Jesus Christ, no, dumb.
Like, I'll say, at least the maps are good in this game, so you wouldn't boot up the game and get fucking
More
towers.
Yeah, but
and-
how
well, I guess
long?
I'll
They
come
could-
back for 2 hours. I'll come back 4 hours later.
Yeah.
Dude, you know that it's only a matter of time before the first map is Moray Towers and the second map is another map I also hate. And I'm just going to be sitting there like, God damn
What's
it.
what's the other map that'll just make you quit the game?
I'm not a fan of. Is it Camp Triggerfish? I'm not a fan of that
Oh,
one.
Camp Triggerfish wasn't great. I didn't like it.
I don't like it. It's too big,
It's
and I hate the
alright.
fucking bridges that you can't fucking squid on, or it's
Oh,
just a really
yeah.
slow map. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't like it very much. It was not
there's-
my
there's-
favorite.
I just don't know. I really hope that they announced that map updates are happening. Obviously, I hope that they are frequent. I hope that we're not gonna be doing like once every 2 months because they said weapons are coming in and out every 3 months. So I'm hoping.
Mhm.
I'm hoping the maps are like 1 or 2 a month and not one every 2 months because I'm like, Overwatch does
Yeah.
that, and I'm like, that's shit. Please don't. Splatoon maps should not take 3 months to come out. But also quality over quantity. Please don't shit out Moray Towers like 5 times. Thank you.
Please.
Please don't.
And don't
Anyway.
make a Moray Towers 2.
Squeakle. 4 towers this time. Anyway,
4A Towers.
4
Four
towers.
A
Don't give
towers.
them ideas. Don't give them ideas. What's
Next
next on the
up,
list?
new weapons. First off is the Tri-Stinger. This is that bow and arrow weapon they showed in the first trailer.
Yeah,
Oh,
This
yeah,
thing
that
looks
one looked
freaking
neat.
sick. Not gonna lie.
it's like a sniper
Kyle, you
kind of
hate bow and
hybrid
arrows.
thing. Yeah.
That doesn't mean I can't appreciate the coolness, Hunter.
My
But yeah,
problem with
it-
my problem with Splatoon weapons is you always have to play them first. They can look cool, but you always have to play them because they always
Yeah.
feel different to play than it is to watch someone play with them. So I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, the bow is basically, at least this one they showed, it shoots 3 different arrows, one straight and 2 split off to the side.
Yeah,
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
it is. We'll see how it
We'll
plays.
see how it turns out.
Mhm.
I think there's a screenshot in here that shows its sub weapon as Toxic Mist. So
Perfect.
for whatever that's worth, Splatoon 2 players.
Yeah.
'Cause that one wasn't in the first one. Second weapon they showed was the Splatana wiper. They put
Oh,
a
yeah.
sword in Splatoon. I saw this and I
Good
said,
show.
that's my main weapon. I don't know what it is with me wanting to use the sword in the shooty game, but
I'm surprised
here
it
we
took
are,
them this
dude.
long to do
Honestly?
Splatana. That
Yeah.
seems like a very obvious weapon, especially when it's a windscreen wiper. I feel like it's a
Yeah.
very obvious
Mm.
Splatoon thing to do, and I'm surprised it's taken them this long. I also saw that there is another version of it that is like a chainsaw on a chainsaw sword.
That's great.
It's like it looks like a bit like a car wash buffer where it's got those like spinning wheels, but
my
it looks like a
God. Oh, yeah.
chainsaw. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But
Also,
Cool
this will
idea.
be
forgot to
the
mention
first
that.
new weapon I try out.
Mm.
Cool
Also
idea. It's
on
kind of
the
like the paintbrush thing.
Yeah.
on the tri stinger, I forgot to mention this. The drawstring, the bow string, it's like a fishing rod
Oh yeah, that makes
string.
sense. Makes sense.
So I
Makes
thought that was
sense.
pretty cool. Yeah, and then the Splatana, it's got this little charge slash it can do. It just looks so cool, dude.
Yeah, but will it
It
play
is
well?
just every other sword in existence, but it's so cool.
Yeah, we'll
Swords
see.
are cool. Let's see
Swords
how
are
it
cool.
I was
plays.
never a melee. I was never a melee Splatoon player. I never was a roller or a paintbrush fan. I mean,
I
everyone
played
was.
around with the
Everyone was a
roller
roller.
for every
Everyone
now
was
and
a
then,
roller
but
fan in Splatoon 1, dude. That was day one. Everyone was like roller, 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 and then the one person that chose sniper on launch day was laughing because it was just fucking picking fish out of a barrel, dude. Just picking fish.
I didn't like the paintbrush so much, to be honest.
Paintbrush was kind of lame.
Paintbrush was fun in competitive modes because you just zoomed, you like fucking yum, and then you just like destroyed people and ran away. It was like, but in Turf War it wasn't too great.
Dude, my thing is, I just like a weapon I don't have to aim, but still feel like I can contribute.
Dude, it's Splatoon. You don't have to aim anyway.
Look,
shots fired, bro. Shots fired.
Dude, just
I'm not good at shooting.
The other thing you have to shoot is the floor, 5-head. Think about it. Anyway.
Next up, special weapons.
Oh god.
It's a pretty girthy article, not gonna lie. Although most of it's just like garbage at the end.
It's fine. We can rapid fire if needs be.
Special weapons. They showed off the Tacticooler, which is basically like a vending machine that gives drinks to your party members.
Gives buffs to party members.
Buffs. It's pretty rad.
I like adding support.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah. Splatoon needs more support style kind of things because they had the Seeker one where it'd like show where other teammates are like like enemies were in vicinity, like the little. But there's not been too many support specials in Splatoon, so it's good to have some variety.
The closest other one is like the rain cloud in Splatoon 2, but that was mostly just to like get enemies out of a place, not really help your team push.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting, because you got the specials. There's a lot of returning specials this time from Splatoon 1, because Splatoon 2, at least at launch, I didn't play all the way through. Splatoon 2's big gimmick at the start was every special's different, not a single returning special from Splatoon 1. I don't know if they brought any of them back, but so to go into Splatoon 3 and then be like, there's some new ones, but also we've brought back fan favorites from Splatoon 1 and 2. I was like, okay, that's interesting that they're bringing some of them back.
The reef slider, a shark pool float, which zooms
I love
around
that. That's
the
fucking
area,
sick. That's dope as
exploding
shit.
the enemy with
That's
ink.
Oh yeah,
shit.
the motorcycle that does the Akira slide.
Yeah, the fucking dolphin was incredible. I was like, that's incredible. What a special. I want that on everything.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
new
that's a good
baller.
one.
That's the
I
new
like that
baller,
one.
dude. That's the new baller.
And then
the fun
wave
special.
breaker.
The wave breaker is like that is
Tactical
like
post that releases waves of energy, identifying enemy positions and dealing them damage.
again another support one, which is pretty decent. But Is it just to me, or is this just like it's like the "Are you smarter than a fifth grader" like special, where it's like,
That's the one
is
where you
your
gotta
enemy
jump
older
over it,
than
right?
8? Let's find out. So they do the most easiest fuck rhythm game of all time because the beats were so slow on that thing. I'm like, genuinely, unless you're a child, you aren't dodging those. Like you can dodge those pretty easily.
Like, yeah, the only way that gets someone is if they're also being
Fighting,
attacked
yeah.
while it happens.
But at that point, you don't need the kind of, hey, everybody, this person's here because you're already attacking them and you're kind of fucked. So it's only
Yeah.
if you die, then someone else can come and pick them off. So it's an interesting
Yeah.
one. But I feel that it's going to be a bit shit. That's my prediction. Can't wait for it to be
Just seems kind of
overpowered and everyone
boring.
hates it.
It'll be interesting. Next up, returning weapons. We got returning supers. It looks like we got the Tenta missiles, the Inkjet, the Ink Storm, the Ultra Stamp, and the Booyah Bomb.
Oh.
It's an
Here's
interesting
my,
set.
and if by interesting you mean like, there's like
It's neat.
They added a couple of ones, but it's like there are so many cooler specials that you could have brought back, like the fucking baller.
Dude, where's the
Or
Kraken?
the Kraken, or there's so many, the killer whale. There's so many that you could have brought back that are more iconic. And I'm like, okay, cool. You brought the fucking launcher back, which is basically the original special. Okay, that's cool. Okay, you brought Rain Cloud in. Who gives a toss, right? But it's like half of them. I'm like, hit or miss. I hope you bring back more of the iconic ones later because I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna, for the most part, want the fucking dolphin plushie one. To be honest, that's the one I want.
Totsugeki.
Yeah,
Sugeki.
it's pretty sick. To be honest, not gonna lie.
Returning modes. It's the same as what was in Splatoon 2.
Which is
Splatzone's
interesting.
Tower Control,
I was kind of
Rainmaker, and
hoping. I was hoping for
Clamblitz.
I was hoping for a new ranked mode. To be honest,
I mean, maybe we'll get one later.
They'll come up with one, I feel like.
Because
I was
Tower
always-
Control
I
and
was-
Rainmaker were added in post Splatoon 1's launch.
and I think Clamblitz was post Splatoon 2 launch as well, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure.
That one. I didn't like that mode all
Because-
that much.
Because
I
all
don't know.
Splatoon 1 had was Splat Zones and Control Point at the start.
I also think, and I don't know if this is a controversial opinion or not, I think it would have been a perfect balance to have an unranked mode with with the modes in it without the ranking system. Just because
Yeah.
to add for map variety again, if you had, then you'd have 8 pools, so you would have 8 you'd have 4 pools, so there'd be 8 maps open at all times. Because it's like,
Yeah, and that's
I'm-
half the maps right
Yeah.
there.
I would really like to sometimes play the ranked modes without being fucking sweaty or
Over
feeling the need to be sweaty. So
Mhm.
I just like a mode where it's not just turf war, but also you don't have to care about your rank, or even if you don't care about your rank, having to deal with sweats all the time was my personal
Yeah,
preference.
because if you
Yeah.
don't care about your rank, you've got the people who do care about your rank telling
Sometimes
you
you're
to get
just
in your
bored of
lane or
turf war, but
whatever.
you don't feel like trying. You just want to just chill out
Yeah.
and maybe play some Clan Blitz or something like that. Like
You know,
Tower Control.
it'd be nice to hear it, and it'd be nice to do it without dealing with the people who probably swearing at you like we're playing League of Legends or something.
Yeah, thank God for Nintendo not knowing what voice chat is. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be my only kind of gripe if they weren't going to do a new mode, maybe have an unranked playlist. But, they're never going to add it, but it's something to think about, maybe.
What's a mode you'd like to see from Splatoon?
What, for a new
Something
mode?
something you'd like to see them tackle?
Well, they've got Domination with Splat Zones. They've got Tower Control already.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Clan Blitz, which is kind of like it's kind of like there's a game mode similar to it. Do they have a capture the flag mode?
That's what I was thinking. I was
They
like,
have
do a classic
Rainmaker,
kind of-
but I'm
Rainmaker's
like,
kind of like
same?
that.
kind of, but it's in the center
not
of the
really.
map. Like I'm
I'm
thinking
talking
of
like I
having
want
to go into their
both camps to want have their own flag,
like
that you
have their
need to
own
take and
flag. I
bring
feel like
back.
capture the flag would work in
That'd be cool.
Splatoon.
I feel like that would be fun in this game. That'd be neat.
I think Splatoon, yeah, I capture the flag
It'd
would
be
be
a lot
interesting.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, considering how you have to move in this game, because if say
Or
someone does get the flag, you
another
just got to take
mode,
away their
yeah.
turf.
Or similar
to corner 'em and
to
stuff,
to Splat Zones being like Domination, I feel like having a kind of I feel like a demolition mode or something like that would be fun, or like an SND kind of mode where it's like there's multiple points you can set off. You just have to set off one of them, and it's like just
Oh,
like
yeah.
all kind of shit hits the fan. You just have to kind of plant the booyah bomb or something. I don't know, and set it
Alright.
off. I just feel like more. I
Yeah,
feel
that'd
like
be
a lot
fun.
of ranked modes in Splatoon end up being not necessarily strategy and just kind of kill. I'd like a bit more.
Who strikes first?
Yeah, I'd kind of like something more strategic where you do have to try and plan how to get into somebody's base or go after a certain thing a certain way instead of it just be stay on the tower, fuck them up.
100 squids drop into an island.
Yeah, something like that. Who knows? But I feel like there's plenty of stuff that they can
Yeah.
work with. Because, like I say, they've got their basic version of domination, tower control, kill confirmed. That's what clan blitz basically is. It's just kill confirmed, but you have to take the tags back. You know, they've got their basic modes, but there are plenty of fucking game modes that you can kind of take inspiration from. I'd probably go
Give
with
me a
Capture the
Fall
Flag.
Guys obstacle course race. Splatoon.
I'd go with Capture the Flag. Let's go Capture the Flag.
All right, next up, Amiibo. Who cares?
Me.
Question mark. Okay.
I love Amiibo.
They're still making Amiibo?
Yeah.
They don't do anything. They just save your costumes like last time, and you can talk. You can have them in photo mode. There, done your research for you, girl.
Epic.
You're welcome.
Well, now it's time to talk about Deep Cut.
Oh, fucking hell. Big man.
I'm
simping for Big Man.
host. Our new hosts of this game. We have a trio.
No, we don't. We have Big Man and we have two fucking frauds, dude. That's who we are.
The Deep Cut podcasters, I believe, is what they are.
Oh my god, it's a podcast crew this time.
We got Fry, we got Shiver, and we got Big Man.
Okay, all I'm gonna say is I feel like it's very clear from her fucking extremely pissed off British kind of eyes that I would probably be the fucking weird looking snarky bastard. So the real question is, out of you two, who's the 5-head and who's Big Man? That's the real question. Who's the hype monster and who's got a massive forehead?
My hair gets in the way of my forehead a lot, so Kyle's got the most exposed flesh there.
But I also feel like Kyle brings the hype, though. That's the thing. So I feel like you're gonna have to fight to the death. I think we're gonna have to do a fucking Splatfest on who's who, bro. Like that's
man. All right, Hunter, 1v1 me when the game comes out. Splatanas only.
For audio listeners, he brought out a sword.
Or that. He also said something, but he muted his mic.
I just said, let's go.
Let's go. I don't know about you guys, but here's the thing: is Pearl and Marina, I didn't necessarily like at launch, but I grew to like Marina and deal with Pearl. That was my whole scenario with them. I think I actually liked Marina quite a bit. I liked Marina's design. I liked that she was an Octoling before the Octolings were actually in the game. I liked that. I thought that was a cool nod for what's to come. And then Pearl was fine. Pearl was just kind of generic. And she had a big fucking forehead. And then this game comes along, and it's
I like that they just doubled down on the forehead thing.
Like I feel
hilarious.
like I hate to bully Fry, but I don't think that's a good design, like at all.
Really not.
I feel like her forehead is too big, and this is coming from someone who has a 5-head themselves. Like genuinely, I've always had a big forehead, and it just looks really like it just doesn't look good, and I just wish. I feel like I just feel like changing her hairstyle would fix it. A lot of the problems that I have with that character design. I think actually I'm saying a lot of it. It'd fix all my problems. The hairstyle is the problem with that character design for me. Is it just doesn't feel right. And then Shiver, I don't hate.
It just feels like the people who are like give Haru bangs. And
literally. I feel like Shiver. I don't hate Shiver, but I'm not a fan. I'm not like personally.
I'm definitely not all about it. Like Big Man is clearly it's like if one of those cats hosted is how I feel is his vibe.
I feel the problem with Big Man is I feel like we're going to have a genuine problem here where Big Man's going to win every Splatfest because everybody's just going to pick Team Big Man because of Big Man. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
I feel like it doesn't matter. Like,
I don't
feel,
know. I guess
like
maybe...
I feel like there could be a Splatfest where the topic is like save world hunger, like cure, like literally like cure all illness is Shiver, like feed the world is fucking Fivehead, and then it's like destroy every country that isn't your own is Big Man, and Big Man's gonna win because it's Big Man. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what the Splatfest is gonna be. I feel like it doesn't matter. Literally, Big Man could literally have like hunt all animals is his topic and he's still gonna win, you know, because Big Man's Big Man. That's my one concern with Big Man.
What was their like beta Splatfest is rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, and
Yes.
he's scissors.
Yes! Scissors is my pick.
Yeah. Who knows? But I'm very
I
mixed.
can't
on
wait for
them.
the Three Houses Splatfest.
I feel like I'm gonna have to with the idols, I think you're just gonna have to see them in motion, actually see them in the game, see how they actually interact, see how they do all that, because I didn't initially like Pearl and Marina, and then after playing the game and watching Off the Hook, I actually liked Off the Hook more than the original Squid Sisters, because they actually had some personality to them. Sorry, Squid Sisters fans, but you know, just extremely happy and extremely trying to hide that they're not depressed is not personality traits like Callie and Marie seem to be.
Extremely there.
It's extremely there. Whereas Pearl and Marina, say what you want about them, I don't really like Pearl's design that much, but they at least had some personality and riffed off each other.
Yeah.
These guys just kind of seem a bit off, but we'll have to see. Maybe we'll be
we'll
wrong.
have to see. And I don't know, maybe just the internet what's the term? Degenerates.
I can't wait for the fucking the
bolster.
Hair update.
Yeah, maybe internet degenerates will bolster Shiver's popularity, so it's a more even split between her and Big Man.
Poor Fry, dude. Poor Fry. I really hope
it's gonna be like she's gonna be like the yellow team in Fall Guys.
Do you know what'd be really funny? Do you know what'd be really funny? Do this, Nintendo. Actually do this. You should have a Splatfest where you show off 3 new hairstyles for Fry and have us fight over which one we think's better.
It would be funny if there was one, and Big Man's the one where it doesn't change.
I just I just like the idea, because obviously the whole Splatoon lore is there's this random fuck off printer that still works underwater that prints off these random things from the internet. That's where they're getting them from. I just really like it's like in the past they foresaw that a squid would have a terrible haircut, so they just print it off, and that's what it is. Who knew? But no. I'm mixed on this. One thing I will say is Splatsville looks sick, especially in the Splatfest design. That is fucking dope. Cool. Like, I love that. Splatoon always looks great at Splatfests, which is why I feel like if there's an amiibo that lets you turn on the Splatfest signs like last time, I'm like, this time I might have to get it because it looks so cool. And I'm like, when Splatfests die, I kind of want to be able to still see it.
I didn't even like play Splatfests like super intently when they were up. I just liked the, I at least turned the game on and was.
I did in Splatoon 1. Cool. In Splatoon 2, I played the first couple and then I dropped off because no one else was playing it. I'm hoping in Splatoon 3 people play it, because Splatfests are always fun and they reward you for playing more, because if you get to like the max rank in a Splatfest, you get like a load of rewards for it. So fingers crossed. Anyway, have we got much more to go through?
On the subject of Splatfest,
August
27th, 2 weeks ahead of the of Splatoon 3's launch. Splatfest is going to be going up, and like we've said, 3 hosts, 3 teams for Splatfests.
I like that. I honestly like that change. That's a good change.
It is.
Splatfest always seemed extremely one-sided. I feel like splitting the audience between 3 and having them not be fucking Big Man simps, fingers crossed. I feel like it's going to be a much fairer fight now, because I feel like even if they chose the most like 50-50 choice, I feel like they always ended up being a bit too one-sided.
Yeah. So now how it looks like the Splatfest Turf Wars are going to be played is that it's going to be 4 versus 2 versus 2.
Second half. So first half of the Splatfest, it's 4v4s like normal. Everybody's fighting. Halfway through a Splatfest usually lasts a weekend, so one day will be 4v4s. halfway through, we're going to get a mid-season result, mid-Splatfest result where they tell us who's currently winning. The leading team who wins will be the 4 people in the Splatfest who have to defend and do the most turf, and then 2 members from each of the teams that are coming second and third fighting, and they get points based on how much turf they get
That's
to
a
cover
really
against the
cool
4.
mix-up.
Yeah.
So it's basically underdogs then get to try and destroy the main team, which I think is going to be
Yeah.
interesting.
It's
I
like
also
the
wonder how that's going to work.
anti-pity item in Mario Party.
It's going to be interesting. I think that's interesting because, like I say again, it also might eliminate that, because if more skilled people are on the underdog teams, they might be able to bring it back in the second half. Say everybody who's
Yeah.
a big man fan shit at the game. It's not going to matter if they win the popular vote in the first half if the skilled people bring it back in the second.
That could be.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
It would just suck if it was a situation where it's like, oh, no matter what happens, the winning side in the first half never gets to win, or something like that. If it's balanced in a way that's like, I don't know, against them in that fashion.
We'll
I'm
have
not
to see.
sure.
We'll have to see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll
We'll have
see
to wait
it
a couple of weeks.
first.
I've already pre-ordered the Splat. You can do that, by the way. You can pre-order the Splatfest demo, so so it will automatically download before the couple of days beforehand. So
nice.
you don't even have to worry about it if you
Ooh.
do want to play it.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah, I'll have to
It's pretty
do
cool. I've
that.
never seen anyone ever put up a pre-order for a demo before, and I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Customizable splash tags and lockers. That's
That's
just
a
like
cool
your
idea
player
for.
tag.
Can we talk about the new lobby? I really like that it's like an actual like physical place. That's cool.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Like you have a training range and you have your lockers. And can I just say, thank fucking God that we finally have party systems. I know it took 3 games, but you can finally have all your friends join up in a lobby at the start and all go into a quick play match together. You don't understand how big a deal that is. Because I can't believe
wait
we had
until
Yeah.
Splatoon 6 where we can finally talk to each other.
Dude, it's amazing to me because it was like the old system for quick play was someone goes into a game, everybody else tries to join, and the worst part was you weren't even guaranteed to be on the same team, so you'd be fighting against each other or with each other. Finally, we have a way to have 4 people go into just play casual with with other people. Finally, thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Was that so
And
much to
then-
ask? Jeez.
And then there's also a training ground you can go into
Which have always
while
been
you're
in
waiting to
Splatoon.
queue.
Yeah. Oh, you can play it while you're queuing.
While you're
now, which is good.
queuing, yeah.
Give me something to do besides the little gamepad mini games.
Dude, I love Squid Jump.
I
Apart
loved
from
those
not
games
returning.
too, and I was a bummer. It bummed me out that they couldn't be done in 2.
I know, right? It's not like they couldn't. You could just have it like press ZR to toggle it onto the menu, so you just play it.
I know.
Yeah.
Man,
Very dumb.
bring them back.
Yeah, why not?
New minigame table turf battles.
That's fucking funny. I love how every video
Is that
game's
the card game?
Yeah, I love how
Yeah.
every game's new gimmick is to add a card game into everything. It's like
Gwent did it, so
Gwent,
you gotta be the next one.
Tycoon in Persona 5 Royal. You've got Final Fantasy 7 having that Fort Condor fucking board game mini game.
Yeah.
And then now this, it's just like it
Machine
just seems to be the
Strike.
video game thing to do. I like it. It's
Yeah.
stupid fun. I like the idea of collecting cards and doing.
Do you
that
not
kind of
want to
fun.
go and do the turf war? Well, I got the game for you.
Turf War? Horizon had a mini game like that as well. I had that.
Yeah, Machine Strike.
Machine Strike.
I
yeah.
played it twice.
I played like a lot. I played like all the beginner and most of the intermediates. And then as soon as I started being bad, I was like, okay, not playing anymore.
I played it enough for like the first 2 people to give me all of the rewards that they could have, and then I decided that I had had enough.
I think that's a cool concept. I like it. It's a neat little thing. It doesn't hurt the game in any shape.
Yeah, it
it
doesn't
being
hurt
there.
anything. I
Yeah.
could imagine it could be its own fun little niche. I imagine people could get
Knowing Nintendo
super
fans,
into.
yeah, knowing Nintendo fans,
Yeah.
there'll be like a competitive scene around it or something like that where everyone actually plays each other, build decks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when Splatoon 3 gets sunsetted, they're gonna be like, but what about the card game?
Yeah. How long do you think it takes for someone to make like a fan made version of it, like as an actual board game? I feel like
Oh man,
I feel like Nintendo might actually even do that at some point and just make it an actual board game. Wouldn't be surprised.
that could be fun.
Rewards for Splatoon 2 players. So if you have Splatoon 2 save data, you can get some bonus stuff.
That's good.
3 golden Sheldon licenses to exchange for weapons, regardless of player level.
Very cool.
You can join ranked battles right from the start.
No longer having to get to level 20 to unlock them, yeah.
Start the game with a higher rank based on your Splatoon 2 rank.
I don't think I played rank mode
I
enough, so
don't
that
know
wouldn't
if
matter.
that'll help me.
I don't
And
think I played ranked that much.
Get matched with players that have a similar Splatoon 2 rank as you.
That's decent. That's fine. That's cool. Although I that is going to be sad that returning players, if you like, I haven't played for fucking years, so they're still probably going to stick me in the shit category, which is fine by me because there's nothing that I love more than pub stomping 8-year-olds on day one of video game launches. It's good fun.
It's the best.
But it's some interesting stuff. We didn't talk about Sheldon and his licenses. I think that's a good change, moving Sheldon from coin based to licenses, having its own separate thing. I think is a good change. I like it. I also really appreciate the feature of being able to spend more licenses for things you're not the high enough level for. That's a really good feature because I was so
That is
sick
cool.
of new weapons coming out for Splatoon and being sorry, you need to be level 50 for that and you're level 28, so you enjoy playing for 30 hours to buy it. I'm like, no.
I guess I just gotta use the basic rifle.
And hey, if you've got those 3 golden tickets work different where you can just exchange that golden ticket for any weapon in the game. So, quick tip, if you're a Splatoon 2 player, don't be an idiot. Don't just pick your favorite. If I were you, I'd just take take the 3 highest. No, do not promote behavior like that. No. Don't take the
You're about
aerospray.
to promote behavior like that.
Just take the 3 highest level things and just unlock them straight away so that you got less of a grind as you go through. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Post-launch updates,
I love announcing DLC before the game comes out.
catalog customizations for lockers and
You can dab!
splash tags. You can dab.
Can't wait.
New stuff released every 3 months from launch for 2 years.
I can't wait.
Available to every player for free.
I'm sorry, I'm just
New
imagining
weapons
now.
will be added at the same time.
Yeah, I'm just
Go
imagining
on,
now.
Ethan.
Can you just imagine us all playing Splatoon 3? The victory screen rolls up, and the enemy team just sees fucking 4 squid kids instantly dab on them as the fucking results show, and then they move on.
I can't wait for it to happen to us like 7 times.
Because it's gonna be it's in the first book. It's gonna be the first emote that's unlocked, so it's gonna be the emote that everybody has. So literally, it's the first month of Splatoon 3 is literally just gonna be every enemy team
so
dabbling
toxic.
on you. It's gonna be
see
incredible.
pineapples and Fall Guys all over.
It's gonna be great, bro. It's gonna be
Dude, it was
great.
funny in Fall Guys. It's gonna be funny again.
I love the dab, dude. It's so iconic. I just love the thing I love about the dab was like so 2016, and yet here we are in 2022, still, and people still put it in video games. It's well past its prime in real life, but man, I'm still up for it. I'm up for it in video games now because people don't do it in real life, so it's funny.
New stages will be added to the 12 that are available from launch. Notification channel will be added in an update later. Let you input a keyword to join friends in a larger group.
I can remember the rest of the stuff that matters if you want.
Yeah. DLC,
big
Salmon Run.
Big paid DLC coming later. They announced that. They also announced that it'll be based on Pearl and Marina in some way, shape, or form, which makes sense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming. Obviously you got new Salmon Run.
In this article it says Salmon Run is open 24/7.
Thank fucking God. There is a higher power that was watching over us. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lamb Satan.
Thank you, Lamb Satan.
Thank you, Cthulhu. He probably has bigger domain over
That's
this.
good. 24/7. Sam will be impressed with that.
Zapfish.
We should message Sam and tell him that that's available from. We don't have to worry about. He's in
general too right now. We'll tell him later.
We'll tell him later. That's cool.
Yeah, and then story mode, Return of the Mammalians.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add about Salmon Run. There's some new enemy types. There's a new final boss stage where sometimes on occasion a big massive fucking salmonoid will come and you have to do a final boss, which is an interesting thing. And then they're going to have, similar to Splatfest, there's going to be a event every now and again for Salmon Run where the salmonoids invade the city and you have to defend the city instead of going to their turf, which is an interesting little...
That's kind of cool.
thing. So that's cool. And 24/7 is pretty epic. And then you got the single
Yeah.
player, which very much looks like, get this gamers, a Splatoon campaign. Wow, what a shocker. We all thought it'd be different because we saw that first trailer. Man, were we wrong? Man, were we wrong? They're fuzzy now.
Why are they fuzzy?
Why are they fuzzy? Can't wait to find out. Splatoon story modes are always fun though. That's the thing is, there's no substance to them, but they're just like fun little challenge levels. And I hope if they've taken the design like principles that they learned from Octo expansion, which is fantastic, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, like they're a decent way to acquaint yourself with how to play the game without being like curb stomped by potentially by people who have already been playing longer than you.
That's yeah. So I guess with all of that, I guess we'll wrap it up by just I don't get because we just talked about all that stuff, and it's like I don't get why people. I don't know what it is with Nintendo, but people expect that isn't enough content to justify it being a sequel.
I don't know what you people are complaining about. This is way more like feature complete than any of these Mario sports games that we've been getting.
Not just that. It's like even the games. It's like you compare it to any other game in its genre, and I'm like, there's still a lot of content there. It's like people are like, oh yeah, but Salmon Run is still Salmon Run. It looks. I'm like, yeah, but that's what like what you want to do is you don't want a Pokemon situation. You don't want a gimmick every time. Salmon Run was genuinely a good proof of concept start. And if they're building on it and adding new stuff and making it more interesting, having it open 24/7 because they now realize that it's a substantial game mode worth people's time, that's great. They're adding stuff to it. Adding all these little movement abilities, people are like, it could be done in a patch. Yeah, but it can also be done in a sequel with brand new maps and new mechanics. I don't understand why it's such a big deal. You're getting a story mode, you're getting all these improvements to multiplayer.
Yeah, it's like what, you want them to patch 2 4 years after it got sunsetted or 3 years after
we don't need another Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah.
And also it gets people back in. It's like that's the thing is Splatoon at a point the problem with Splatoon, and I still think it's going to be a problem, is I always feel like with games like Splatoon, with these constant updates and all these weapons, they never stop adding shit to Splatoon. And I'm glad with them doing this whole weapons are released every 3 months. They're kind of spreading them out instead of releasing one every fucking week and having to have a panic attack and keeping up. You know, everything's coming out in a set order. I feel with a better schedule, it's going to allow people to stay invested in Splatoon. Because my problem with Splatoon 1, and it's the same with Splatoon 2 because I dropped out a lot earlier, is Splatoon is the kind of game where if you just take a month or 2 out of Splatoon, you feel like you're too far out and you just don't go back. And that's what I've been like with Splatoon ever since with Splatoon 2. They had too many maps, they had too many weapons, and I just think about the grind. And I'm like, fuck no, I don't want to do that grind. I ain't playing. And I'm hoping that with having these scheduled updates and having it be a new starting point for everyone to get back in, everyone's back on the ground floor. It just seems like a good time to reinvest in it.
Yeah, honestly, like this seems like all of that extra, all of the things that it felt like Splatoon 2 needed to have in order to feel like an actual sequel, instead of like the Nintendo Switch Deluxe port that it felt like in a lot of ways.
It feels far more fleshed out than
Splatoon
2. It feels like this genuinely feels to me, say what you want of it being like baby steps or whatever, or it being a kind of step up from Splatoon. It still feels like this feels more like a sequel to Splatoon than Splatoon 2 did. Because Splatoon 2 genuinely just did tick all the boxes. And it didn't even, like I say, it had, 8 maps at launch. Yeah, but 3 of them were remakes, and it was just like, it's other things like Splatoon 3 has every single base weapon variant from Splatoon 1 and 2. Splatoon 2 didn't launch with every weapon in it. It scrapped half the weapons and had like the dualies, and that was it. Splatoon 2 felt like a scraped back version of Splatoon 1 with some new content. Splatoon 3 feels like everything that you liked about Splatoon 1 and 2 is back. Plus, we're adding new stuff and doing new things. And I feel like that's the way you should do it. Not do what Splatoon 2 did, which was, we'll take content away and we'll bring it back later so it feels like the content's being added.
Yeah.
Feel free to do that,
Classic.
but just give us all the stuff from the start. Give us all the weapons like you are doing, and that's fine. If you want to add
Yeah.
another variant of the aerospray later, be my guest. Just don't hold the aerospray back and then bring it back 6 months later and go, look, guys, new content. It's dumb.
Everyone's new favorite weapon.
But no, how are you guys feeling? You guys optimistic? You looking forward to Splatoon 3?
Yeah,
I think this
feel
game
like
looks super fun.
yeah, I'm gonna have fun with it for at least a little while, and then I'm sure I'll like to drop back in every now and then. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't play Splatoon 2 so much. Like, I would play it a little bit when I got it, and then like a few months later, I played it some more, and then like months after that, like after the final Splatfest, I was playing with like some friends who had just gotten into it, but I didn't play that one a lot, but like Splatoon 1, that was one of the things that was just in the rotation of things we were passing around while we were playing the Wii U. It was nice.
Splatoon
Splatoon
1 was one of
1
my
was
favorite
so
games on the
much
Wii
fun.
U. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas
honestly.
Splatoon 2, I feel like came out at the wrong time. I feel like it was a big year for Nintendo, and I feel like all of the kind of weight of that year was taken away by Breath of the Wild and Odyssey and even Mario Kart 8. I feel like
Yeah. What shot my playtime with Splatoon 2 in the foot was that I waited until like my birthday to get my Switch. So, and I got Splatoon at like Christmas. So,
see, I played a
I
shit ton of
still had
Splatoon, so it's like
I still had like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey that I was messing with and such. So when I got Splatoon, I was just playing it a little bit and still
yeah.
going back to those.
No, I still love Splatoon 2, and I put a load of time into it. I
I
put
still
100
liked
hours
it.
into Splatoon 1. I put 100 hours into Splatoon 2. I put as much time into Splatoon 2 as I did Splatoon 1. But the memories and everything of Splatoon 1 are far more vivid in my mind than anything that happened in Splatoon 2. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping that Splatoon 3 is more of the resurgence. And, you know, it's probably well, I'm not saying it is probably the swan song kind of multiplayer game for Nintendo for Switch, probably, because we're not going to get a new Mario Kart this on the Switch.
Yeah,
It's
they're not
basically
gonna
all
give you
confirmed
another
now.
Mario Kart.
And we're definitely
Come
not
on.
going to get a new Smash or anything like that. So it feels like this is like
No,
the proper kind of final big multiplayer push from Nintendo. There'll probably be another Mario Party. There'll probably be some other multiplayer games that come out here and there, but this is probably the final like
Yeah,
big
and they're like supporting it for an additional 2
2 years. So
still.
this is probably like the last 2 years of content. Like I wouldn't be surprised if
And
well,
like by
this
2024, I could actually feasibly seeing there being some new Nintendo piece
I
of.
mean, we've always kind of put that prediction down to it being 2024 will be when the refresh or the pro or whatever they plan on doing next will happen,
Or the
right?
second
So
one, yeah.
so I wouldn't be surprised if they. I wouldn't even be surprised if they do like what like Sony and Microsoft have been doing now, where they're like, "Hey guys, good news! Splatoon 3's been going so well that we're not only gonna do an update, like an upgrade for the new Switch, where it plays a bit better or runs a bit faster, but we're gonna carry on support with it and just keep going like they
Yeah.
did with Mario, and it'll make more sense than it will with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because the game will still be relatively new."
Yeah.
Instead of adding DLC to a game that was already fucking 8 years old. Like it seems a bit weird doing it that way. But hey. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun time. And with that, I feel like we shouldn't even touch the
Yeah,
other
we don't need
topics.
those
We've been
other
going long
topics.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about
Send
game
the
delays.
Spider-Man
What's
debate
your
in the chat.
Cal, what is your comment on Hogwarts Legacy being delayed to 2023? Are you upset?
On the fantasy critic side, I'm upset. As a person, I don't really care
That's the spirit.
because I was gonna skip this game anyways.
I saw this coming ever since they delayed.
But also,
Suicide
yeah,
Squad.
Same.
they said holiday 2022, and I'm
just
like,
going to
yeah,
put this one
nah,
out here
no
right
shot.
now. I'm just going to put this one out here, by the way. Suicide Squad is being pushed to fall 2023. I'm putting that one on the table right now. There is no way in hell they release Hogwarts Legacy in February and then Suicide Squad in March. That is not happening.
Yeah.
No way in hell.
The unspecified
In fact-
window for this game, and then the fact that Suicide Squad was supposed to come out this year and got pushed.
And then it got pushed to March. I'm like,
Yeah.
That, in fact, I won't say fall. I would not be... I put money on Suicide Squad taking Batman Arkham Knight's like release area, which was June-ish, end of June, start of July.
Summer.
Yeah. I feel like that's a summer game. I feel like they don't want to go in fall because I bet you if Spider-Man is aiming for anything next year, it's probably September again if they do make it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure WB is like,
they probably don't want to go up against Spider-Man.
Probably. They're probably like, you know what? We should come out first. That'd be if I was Rocksteady, I would be like, we want to come out in front of it, and better to put it out in June than to put it out in a potential September when Spider-Man could come out. It won't, but it might.
Yeah. It probably won't, but who are we to doubt Insomniac?
True, they release things like it's nobody's business. But yeah, it's such a weird. It's so weird that like I say everything's been just pushed out. Like we genuinely, November is just God of War month basically, which is extremely weird. Like people are saying like everyone's scared of God of War. I want to like they shouldn't be that scared of God of War to clear the month out. Like I understand not releasing in the same week but the same month. Like how many people do you think are gonna play God of War?
Yeah, or like I'm sure games there's got to be something that serves a different audience that could come out like besides Pokemon because that's another like that's like the uber casual thing, you know.
Nintendo's got that's the thing is though Nintendo never releases a game in November other than like Pokemon because they don't want to cannibalize most of the time. And then
Yeah,
obviously
I mean,
Sony's
Bayonetta's
going.
out at the end of October,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes, it
That's
is.
close
Well, yeah,
enough to
but
November.
Yeah, it's close enough to
and,
them.
like that's also niche enough to where like God of War hits a way wider audience where the people who care about Bayonetta a lot, like me, you know, are gonna pick it up right away and try and play it in the week that is the gap.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
But that's the thing is,
true.
it's like, you know, Bayonetta is coming out at the end of October, but it's like literally of that the only two big games, like AAA games, unless you count Harvestella and Skull and Bones, which I'm not going to.
No.
Because no, I'm sure Harvestella will be fine, and
I'm sure that'll be fine. Skull and
Bones
Bones is
will
what
be
I was
terrible.
giggling at.
But literally, it's just Tactics Ogre Reborn. You know that little remaster thing they're doing. Literally, it is
the one for Kyle.
Yeah, literally, it is nothing but God of War on November 9th and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 9 days later on November 18th. November is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Even COD is in October. It's got the same date as Bayonetta. So literally everybody has cleared the gap, which I think is stupid. Activision is releasing Overwatch and Modern Warfare in the same month. They're doing what fucking Battlefield did to Titanfall literally like 5 years ago. They're just gonna kill Overwatch off for Call of Duty. Like genuinely.
So maybe they just cut their losses and like people really don't like Overwatch right now. So
I think they realize that they're fucked with Overwatch. To be honest, I think they're like we're just done.
They might have just been like, just send it.
If I was Activision, Blizzard, or if more importantly, I guess now if I was Microsoft, I genuinely would be like release the multiplayer now, go and make a story. Like literally go and make like a big like solo expansion, like make a story co-op story mode. And literally go and work on it for like 2 or 3 years and just make something that people will absolutely adore. And hope for the best, because I feel like multiplayer's fucked, no one cares. Like literally, did you see the Overwatch 2 beta? And literally it died within like day 2. No one was watching it on Twitch. Absolutely 0 people. Whereas Fall Guys, 2 months after going free to play, is still on the top like 6 games on Twitch. So it's like
Fall Guys go.
Fall Guys sweep.
Right now it has more. Right now, Fall Guys currently has more viewers as of recording than Rust, Counter-Strike, Go, Escape from Tarkov, World of Warcraft. It has more viewers than all of those games right now, and it's at the very lowest point of the season. Yeah, at the lowest point of the season. I feel like I feel like a lot of the end of this year is there's a couple of good games, but I feel like a lot of people are just cutting their losses and just releasing games that they just feel like they need to release, which is a sad state, really. I mean, even October is just filled with games that are ports, like Persona coming to everywhere, Nier coming to Switch, you know? And then there's the occasional good game, like, well, potentially good game like Mario
Plague Tale
Rabbids.
Requiem will be pretty good.
Plague Tale.
I just won't have time to play it yet.
Literally, video game companies, I just want to give you like the biggest tip that I could possibly give you. If you are Plague Tale, if you are Mario plus Rabbids, Ubisoft, you're probably not going to move it. But if you are even Gotham Knights, I'm just saying a month delay just to get out of the chaos might do you some good. That's all I'm saying. Especially like there's so much shit coming out. Gotham Knights, you are fucked, but maybe it's for the best. Who knows? If I was Gotham, I would have pushed Gotham Knights, to be honest. I would have pushed Gotham Knights to December or something. Like, genuinely just go all out on it. Because Callisto Protocol, I don't think they have the same audience. I would have just gone all out.
No, not really.
River City Girls, dude.
Oh, man. I hope I manage to beat the first one before that comes out. If that comes out in, like, November, that'd be a nice little sweet
December
spot.
1st. So
how long is the first one?
Not long, but
it's
Hunt's a
not
busy
long. I just
man.
didn't have
Okay.
enough time to play it a lot.
Okay.
Because then
He's
like,
got
I've been
one
hit
more
with
billion games to play. Like,
Yeah.
I was
come
gonna
on.
say that seems like a get it done in an afternoon game.
yeah, I had like a couple hours, and then I had to go to bed, and then I think it was Stray
Oh,
the next
that's also
day.
a get it done in a couple hours game.
Listen,
Yeah.
man,
No, you
things kept
listen,
happening
man.
because then Xenoblade came out, and then I had to put
That's
down
also a get it done
Xenoblade.
in a couple hours.
Yeah, I'm not a psycho. So I had to
You
put
tried
that down to
being one?
play.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I succeed at being one.
I don't know, man. I feel like 2022 is going to be
Fair.
one of those years that we look back at in a couple of years and just be like, fucking hell, dude. Like, there was some great games. Like, honestly, the highs of this year are far higher than last year. Like,
Oh yeah.
Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, Xenoblade 3 are all better than anything that came out last year. They're all fantastic. They're all brilliant. But at the same time, we had like those pinnacles of those franchises and fuck all else. Like, we have genuinely had the
3
most
months
kind
like,
of,
just playing your backlog.
and
Yeah.
there's not been bad games, but there's been nothing like
It's nothing notable, really.
nothing notable. Like, there's things for people that like, if you're like, there's been plenty of indie games that if you're into that kind of thing, but there's like,
Yeah.
there's been nothing that's kind of gotten the ball rolling for everybody since February, really, because even Xenoblade 3 has its own audience. It's like there's not
Yeah.
really anything.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people who don't care about it. Like, we were talking off the show about how it's going to get shafted from a Game Awards nomination.
Probably. But hey, guys, look on the bright side. There's two bright sides. At least one. Think of 2023, guys. That's going to be a great year, and nothing's going to get delayed from 2023.
The
at
same
all.
thing
Feels
we
like
say every year.
Keep huffing that copium, ladies and gentlemen. And
Feel like we've been
remember,
here before. Have we been here before?
and if you don't want to huff that copium, remember Persona 5's coming out on everything in October anyway, so it's fine. Just play that for 100 hours.
Everything, everywhere, all at
Yeah,
once.
why not?
That'll keep you busy.
I'll keep you busy.
Yeah.
So-
That is a game I would play in an afternoon because I'm a psycho.
It's a long
12-hour
afternoon,
speedrun,
Hunter.
my guy.
Yeah, long hours, long fucking speed. Nah, dude, Hunter doesn't skip cutscenes. He's not a barbarian. Hell no.
Yeah. No,
But
man.
he's already seen them.
Anyway,
That's how, dude, I'm still watching the ending and stuff.
damn. I've had like a clean break. It's like I'm like a addict. It's like I have taken. When did Persona Royal come out? March 2020, April 2020.
Yeah.
Like, other than watching other people play it, I've had like a clean break. I've not played Persona 5 again since my last playthrough in April of 2020. I've been clean for over 2 years. I still talk about that game. Send help, please. Fuck. It won't leave me.
Yeah.
Leave me alone, please. Anyway, we've rambled enough. We added that topic in when we weren't going to. See, it's just that simple. Anyway,
Yeah.
as always,
yeah.
links are on screen.
Dogs.
Right now, there you go. You can go and follow us on your favorite social media platform. That's Twitter. Everyone loves Twitter. It's all good.
I love Twitter.
It's always a positive
Love.
place, Twitter. I was
Silly
scared for a
bird
second that my
app.
alerts weren't going to work again. I was going to cry, but they worked. We're good. But now you can keep us up to date with everything. You'll see when I finish Xenoblade. I've got some screenshots. I've been pressing that screenshot button like it's no fucking tomorrow, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't say because Hunter's not as far as me.
You sure can't.
I can't. I laughed. I cried.
Okay.
I fist
I
pumped the air.
can't say it either.
But hey, if you've not played Xenoblade 3, that's cool. You can follow us on Twitter at HotGamersOnly. There'll be no Xenoblade there. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/HotGamersOnly. There might actually be some Xenoblade there.
There will
so you know.
probably Xenoblade here.
Yeah, or you can go and follow us on your favorite podcast service. Just search for Hot Gamers Only on your favorite, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it. We're on it. You can go and head on over. Leave us a review while you're there. Linktree if you want. All of the places we're on. We're on literally everything at this stage. You can find us. And if we're not, tell us and we'll try. They might not like us though. Who knows? I keep getting like emails on the HGO email from random podcast companies going, "You haven't lived if you're not on Pod Thingy," and I'm like, "Wow, great job, guys."
Pod Thingy.
I'm like, yeah.
My
Why would
favorite.
I go out of my way to click on a dodgy link to put us on a podcast website that I can guarantee no one will listen to us on? Because you're all Spotify and Apple Podcast degenerates. I know you guys.
Yeah,
There's a couple of you on
it's
Amazon.
easier.
There's a couple of you guys on like Castbox, but I know most of you are normies like I am and listen on the main 3 or 4. So, but hey, if I'm wrong, let us know.
But think about it, Ethan. What if we could dominate the market on one of those shady podcasts?
What, imagine if we #1 podcast on Pod Thingy or whatever it's called. Like, yeah.
Yeah, put that on our award podium.
#1 podcast because we got ourselves to listen to it on that podcast series. Let's go. Anyway, on that note, we'll be back same time, same place next week for more. I don't know what we're even going to talk about next week. That's going to be fun. No games, that's for sure. Who knows? And definitely not a 3x3 because, geez, not break from 3x3s, please. I can't talk for 2 hours again.
So long, we need like 6 months in between each one of them.
Basically. But hey, we'll be back next week for more. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.